Charlotte was privileged to take part in a pretty spectacular show. Violins of Hope was at UNC Charlotte. How long ago was it?
2 years.
2 years
April
ago.
2012.
Dr. Jay Grymes, who is a professor of musicology at UNCC, joins us right now. And he's written a book, Violins of Hope. This is a collection of violins that was put together by, I always get his, I have trouble pronouncing his name.
Amnon Weinstein.
And he's a violin maker from Israel.
Yes.
Correct?
Tel Aviv.
Whose family died in the Holocaust.
Yes.
And he has taken these violins which survived the Holocaust. How many in total?
He has well over 30 at this point.
Well over 30.
Instruments with connections to the Holocaust, yes.
Which, I know it's always hard to prove, but documentation at least points to that, yes, indeed, they did survive the Holocaust.
Yes, some of them we have the clear stories for, and those are the stories I'm able to write about in Violins of Hope.
Okay.
Others were able to just sort of guess the provenance based on the craftsmanship. We know when they were made, how they were made, and there's a distinctive damage that comes from having been played outside in the rain and in the snow, which would only have happened during the Holocaust.
So he has taken these and he's, in all cases, he's put them back together in playing shape. He wants them to be played.
Yes, that's the whole point. They're great historical pieces, they make great museum pieces, but they're meant to come alive again on the concert stage. And that's what's really special about this project.
And I was saying that Charlotte was privileged to take part in this because this is the first place when all of them were together, right?
Well, there were 18 that we brought to Charlotte.
Okay, because I know there was a show was it in Switzerland?
Happened several, across the country, in Europe and Israel, but this was the first time they came to this hemisphere.
Okay. And as I said, you were instrumental in putting this together. You have a friendship with him, do you not?
I do. I consider him and his wife to be very close friends.
So how did this come together?
Well, the principals behind this at UNC Charlotte were David Russell and Ken Lambley. He's our dean. And they were talking about bringing the project together, and I was sort of on the outside looking in and became very inspired about what I was hearing, what they were telling us about the violin. So I took a trip out to Tel Aviv. I met with Amnon. I saw the instruments for myself, and I became very inspired to write this book about.
And you're a violinist?
I'm not a violinist. I'm a historian.
Historian. Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But when you hear these instruments being played, it's very moving.
It really is. It's a very emotional experience. You feel like you have a real connection emotionally to those who played those instruments during the Holocaust.
Yeah, and these were played in the camps in terrible times oftentimes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes as people were marching to calm down the subjects, if you will, as they were being marched to their deaths.
Yes, one of the violins that I write about, one of the Violins of Hope, was played in Auschwitz.
Yeah. What was your hope in putting this book together?
These are stories that really deserve to be told. And especially in America, there's a bit of a monolithic idea of the Holocaust. And the Holocaust, really, if we're looking at 11 million deaths, 6 million Jewish deaths, we tend to sort of put them all in the same category as if there's one Jewish experience.
Right.
Well, there's not. There's 6 million stories. I'm fortunate enough to be able to tell 6 stories in Violins of Hope, but they couldn't be any more different than each other.
Okay. And what I like about it is it's different. As you said, it is monolithic, and we've heard so much about the Holocaust, but oftentimes it's not personalized like this.
Right. I think there's something, when we try to think about the Holocaust, it's hard for us as humans to imagine 6 million deaths, but we know what it's like to be a single human. We know what it's like to love music and have a family, and we can associate with individual humans. So Elie Wiesel, Anne Frank, those characters really resonate with us, and I hope we have the same resonance with Violins of Hope.
Violins of Hope, Dr. Jay Grymes, thanks very much. This will hit the stores tomorrow. Much appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
Thanks for joining us. That's our end of conversation for today. We'll be right back.